Hi, and welcome to the Speechcraft training number 4. And I'm going to invite to the stage Maureen Xavier, who is our Toastmaster of the day. Take it over, Maureen.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you everyone for being here today. It is a blessing and an honor to be your Toastmaster of the day for Speechcraft, where our theme today is fresh beginnings, and it's a fresh beginning for me to be a Toastmaster, and I hope you leave with a fresh beginning for you in whatever way is best for you. First of all, I would like to invite to the stage the timer. Kathleen, can you explain timing for today's speeches? Actually, can you explain your role and the timing for today's speeches?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, you are doing a beautiful, elegant job, by the way. We do not have the in-person first trainer, and she is going to be, her recording is going to be presumably between 12 and 14 minutes. I won't be signaling for that. Then we will have Gary Howarth doing a prepared speech for 5 to 7 minutes. And 5 minutes gets the green signal, 6 minutes, the yellow, and 7 minutes, the red. Then we will just have the evaluation, which is 2, 2.5, and 3. And then we will have the evaluation of the evaluation, which is 1, 1.5, and 2. And then we will have, that's enough for now.
Well, Kathleen, I just want to mention that the recording is only 7 minutes long, and we might want to open it up for questions if anybody has any questions, although she won't be here to answer it, but we'll do the best we can. Okay.
Yes, and we could go back into the room, into the main room early.
Yes.
That would be good.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you. We haven't talked about table topics. However, assuming that we get time to be there, Isaac Ford will be our table topics master. Welcome, Isaac. Thank you very much for being here.
Yes, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As table topics, I will ask a question and then call on you. This segment helps you to think on your feet at the last minute, because you won't know what the question will be, but you should give a 1 to 2 minute answer on the table topics. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Isaac.
Maureen, I see that Nadine has her hand up. You want to find out what she wants?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Nadine, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So I wanted to know, for the evaluation, since we've transitioned from in-person to online, are you looking for audience awareness as well or not?
Yes, we're always looking for audience awareness. It's harder to determine, but it is the sense of connecting with the audience and looking at the screen so that it looks like you're looking at people.
Okay.
So that is something that you talk about. Like if people are looking down at their notes, that's not quite as much awareness, right?
Right. Okay.
All right. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, great. Back to you, Maureen.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Now we will begin the training segment of our meeting today. In this segment, Kadisha Curry will explain how to choose a speech topic. As a Toastmaster, you are encouraged to give manual speeches that follow specific guidelines. As a beginning speaker, you may find it difficult to quickly select a topic for a manual speech. Today, Kadisha, in her recording, will share with you easy techniques that you can use to help select a great topic with minimum effort. Isn't that nice? Minimum effort. Kadisha earned a competent leadership and competent speaker certificate in the legacy program, and she's currently working on completing the presentation mastery pathway. Kadisha's speech topic is selecting your speech topic. Her speech is presentation mastery level 3. The elective project is inspire your audience. If she were here live, the speech would be 12 to 14 minutes. As I understand, it's probably going to be 5 to 7 minutes instead. So we won't be doing any timing on it. I turn it over to you, Michelle. Can you share the recording?
Doing that right now.
She has earned her competent leadership and competent speaker certificate in the legacy program. She is currently working on this wonderful pathway, presentation mastery. Presentation mastery, select a topic. Kadisha Curry. Kadisha Curry, select a topic. Over to you.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Speech topics are all around us. Usually, the speech topic is determined by the occasion, audience, and speaker's abilities. When Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, is invited to give a talk, he's usually asked to speak about the face of technology, philanthropy, or Facebook. Similarly, when Darren LaCroix, the 2001 world champion of public speaking and founder of Stage Time University, is invited to speak, can you guess what he would probably give a talk about? Anybody? Anyone? Michelle?
Marketing communication.
Exactly, something along the lines of public speaking, marketing, and so on. However, as Toastmasters, we give manual speeches where our speech topics are not given to us. Therefore, we have the flexibility of choosing what we want to talk about. For new speakers and Toastmasters, selecting a speech topic may not be an easy feat. In this presentation, we'll look at ways to help you choose a speech topic from choosing from topics that you know a lot about, may want to know more about, and by brainstorming techniques. Most people speak about subjects which they're familiar with. That may include experiences, their careers, things that they're experts at. Think about what you know a lot about. Oprah Winfrey each year may list her top 10 favorite things. What are your top 10 favorite things? You can select a speech topic based on that. Additionally, what are you passionate about? That can be a speech topic as well. Dhananjaya Hidarachi, the 2014 world champion of public speaking, says to think about what you're passionate about and think about what you're passionate about currently and select a topic from that. It could be a problem you're facing, a challenge, incident, or something that you're dealing with emotionally. He says that when you speak about something you're passionate about, you will be able to speak with emotion, enthusiasm, and
Oh, baby. What happened?
I'm hoping she's going to come back soon. It might be the bandwidth.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Let me see if I can do something with my software.
Okay. Michelle, this video is coming from your computer.
Yes, it is.
Perhaps if you turned off your camera to
Oh.
see, that would open up a little bit more bandwidth.
Okay.
Do you think we should also, others of us should also do it, or just Michelle?
Yeah, it's just Michelle because it's coming
Okay.
from hers. We're just receiving a part of it.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you might have applications going on in the background that aren't necessary for now.
Good point. I'm closing up everything. Okay.
I love these intimate groups, you know, we're having a good time.
Yeah, and I'm
She's
really
gonna-
excited to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, she has some really good stuff.
Well, she
That was
does.
a real big lead in.
I could stop share and start it again and try, let's see, where were we? We were at 421. Hold on
420,
a second. I'm going to try it again, okay? I'm going to go to stop. And let me
Talk about new beginnings. This is one of the ways that we're getting the opportunity to be in the new beginning of the speech. We had one new beginning and we may end up having another new beginning. We'll see if she comes back.
okay, let me try it again, okay?
Okay.
Whoops. Yeah, here we go. Let's try it.
Thank you, Michelle.
It about.
Oh.
And think about what you're passionate about currently and select a topic from that. It could be a problem you're facing, a challenge, incident, or something that you're dealing with emotionally. He says that when you speak about something you're passionate about, you will be able to speak with emotion, enthusiasm, and energy. And that's what you'll need to connect with your audience and hopefully give a breakthrough to others and make an impact. On the other hand, you may decide to make a speech about something that you want to learn more about. It can be a learning experience both for you and the audience. You may choose a topic that you know a little bit about, but not enough to give a speech about. Or you could just choose something you've never been touched by or you've never been touched with before, but you want to explore. For example, since I joined Toastmasters, I've been hearing a lot about Ralph Smedley being the founder. And I always thought about him, like what caused him to think of such a wonderful organization that has over 300,000 members worldwide. And the more I thought about him, the more I wanted to learn about him. And so I wrote a speech about him. I titled it The Man Behind the Brand. It was a learning experience for myself and my audience at the time. After exploring topics that you know a lot about and you want to know more about, and you still don't know what you want to talk about, I want to offer to you two brainstorming techniques. One is called personal inventory. It involves taking a close look at your experiences, your interests, hobbies, skills, beliefs, and so forth. Jot them down and jot down any and everything that comes to your mind, no matter how silly or irrelevant they may seem. You can get some ideas from that. Secondly, the next technique is called clustering. And to do this, again, take a sheet of paper or open a Google Doc and divide your paper or create 9 columns. And in each column, write one of these words: people, places, things, events, processes, concepts, natural phenomena, problems, and plans and policies. You can also change these headings to your liking. Then in each column, write the first 5 things that come to your mind. This will result in you having 45 speech topics to choose from. Speech topics are all around us. My life is just speech material, and so is yours, says Tammy Miller, the author of My Life is Just Speech Material, and So Is Yours, a guide to what to say and how to say it. As Toastmasters, we get to choose what we want to talk about. You can choose from things you already know a lot about, or what you may want to know more about, or you can just brainstorm topics to talk about. Have fun choosing your speech topic today. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wow, that was a wonderful speech. I look forward to going back and listening to it again, because picking a speech topic is one of the things that I procrastinate about. Kadisha, you did a great job. Does
Yes.
anyone here, so Kathleen, you weren't keeping time at all, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, well, I'm gonna estimate that we have up to 5 minutes to work with here as a potential conversation points. Would you be willing to put 5 minutes on the timer now to see if we have what conversation may come from being with her information and talking about it?
Will do.
Oh.
Does anyone have comments or questions they would like to make? Yes, Nadine.
Right. So yeah, it was a brilliant speech. Okay, somebody did put it in there.
Yes,
Over the 9 runs, I had to listen to it 3 times.
Michelle read my thought. Okay, I got it. It's okay. I don't have a question.
Did Michelle already answer your question? Okay, well, for the recording, in case anyone is watching this and has no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So my question was, when Kadisha spoke about the choosing topics, she spoke about making 9 columns, but I didn't get the headings of the 9 columns. And so the headings are people, places, things, events, processes, concepts, natural phenomenon, problems, plans, and policies. So I didn't get that. I didn't get all of them. And so Michelle recognized that's what I was going to ask and put it in the chat.
Perfect. That's
Okay.
amazing. Thank you, Michelle, for reading Nadine's mind. I actually noticed Kadisha's here. So we just heard her recording and she's actually here live now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We did hear your recording and we were in the we allocated up to 5 minutes for people to ask questions, have comments. Kadisha, is there anything, since you are the demo speaker for today, is there anything that you would like to add to the recording, knowing that we've already listened to the recording?
Regarding the 9 columns, I plan to put together a PDF so I can send that to everyone later on this week.
Great.
If that would be helpful. And does anyone have any questions about the presentation?
No, it was well done.
I really enjoyed how you simplified things and pretty much got us out of our heads when it comes to selecting a topic. Because as you very clearly pointed out, there's a million things that we could talk about. But when you created the 9 columns in the list, that really helps break things down and our minds don't go everywhere. It's more focused. And I think there's a lot of power to that. So thank you.
Absolutely. And in the PDF, I'll also cite my source. It's not my idea. And I also think that we can be flexible with the columns as well. We could perhaps replace it with things that we are familiar with.
I would say I have an idea. So if we would like to receive the PDF from Kadisha, how about we put our email contact information in the chat so she has a way of reaching out to us?
Well, I believe that we have everybody's email, so I can make sure that they get them because these are all Speechcraft people. So we have everybody's email.
All right.
Got it. So we don't need to do that. But thank you. That was very thoughtful of you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Kadisha, that was definitely very informative. I really like the way that you delivered it. I like the fact that you had all these sources and examples for every single aspect of what you were talking about. For every point you gave, there were like real examples of real people, actually examples of them implementing what you were talking about. So thank you for sharing.
Not only that, but she demonstrated everything I have to talk about when I talk about how you do your research speech. So if you just follow Kadisha, you got it. See, I don't have to talk now.
And since each one of us has a different perspective on it, I'm sure, Michelle, we will learn a lot from you, from your perspective.
I've got my notes. I'll be there. But she was amazing. I have never seen so many citations and quotes and statistics in one speech. It was amazing. Kadisha, you were amazing. Not to mention that the structure of the speech was flawless.
Thank you. Thank you for that, everyone, Michelle.
And what I especially loved, Kadisha, is your presence. You just made me feel, just being in your presence made me relaxed. You know, I noticed how it's like relaxing into being with the speech. So thank you for setting the energy up for us all to be with a topic that can be nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Thanks, Maureen.
You're welcome.
And just one last comment. What I loved, Michelle said, you had so much research in your speech, and yet it didn't seem forced or phony. It just flowed with what you were saying, and the references just came out as part of the speech. And that is a knack that many presenters do not have. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Linda.
Beautiful. Thank you. Now I see that our time is up for the conversation part of the demo speech. Our demo speaker, Gary Howarth, and his evaluator, Dr. Nadine James. I am introducing and inviting them. So Dr. Nadine, can you read the project objectives for Gary's speech?
You're muted, Dr. Nadine.
All right, I don't see the project objectives. Is that in the sheet, the evaluation sheet?
It's on the evaluation sheet.
Okay, all right. So so the purpose statement of the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Notes for the evaluator. The member completing this project has spent time researching a topic. He or she may be speaking about a new topic or a known topic on a deeper level. About this speech, the member will present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. This project is not a report on the content of the researching and presenting project.
Thank you very much, Nadine.
Mm-hmm.
Gary's speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Gary Howarth, why do you need USP? Why do you need USP? Gary Howarth.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Why do I need a USP? As a matter of fact, what is a USP? A USP is a unique selling proposition. It goes by a number of names. It's also been known as unique selling position, unique value proposition, and a variety of other things. What it really is a message for businesses and organizations to show how they're different from their competitors and how they can really stand out. It's also an opportunity to share a key benefit of what you offer and have that within that message. Another thing is people who hear the message, everyone wants to believe that they're unique, and they are. But when they listen to the message that you put together for that, when they respond with, hey, that's for me, you know that you're on track. And one of the real things that makes it all work and why I'm passionate about it is I've been in sales and marketing for over 40 years. And for all the companies I worked for, the message was very important to attract people's attention. And so the USP really needs to focus on the other person, not the company or the organization that is sharing the message. And so you want to focus on their hopes, their dreams, their needs, their goals. All those things are very important, so your message will resonate with them. If someone's interested in what you have, typically they have many options in front of them. One is there are different competitors that offer courses. For example, Dale Carnegie could be a competitor to Toastmasters. There's also hundreds of books on speaking. And there's a lot of people who give courses on how to speak and present in front of audiences. So there are many choices, including the choice of not doing anything. Having the status quo happens with a lot of people, and your message needs to resonate sufficiently so they do take action. And part of it is positioning yourself as a trusted advisor. So when you know what their dreams, their needs, all those things are, and you can address those, and it affects them emotionally. And all decisions are typically made with emotions. Now, the USPs can be segregated in a number of ways. Some people do it by price, they do it by location, who it's for, variety of things, specialization. But what I'm going to talk about today is the market, the situation we find ourselves in today because of the pandemic. Gallup did a research or report saying that in the last 2 years, the people who work remotely have gone from 31% to 62%. That's a huge increase. And Statista research, they found out that 86% of employees believe that remote working is the future of work. And 54% of those employees, they would be willing to quit and leave their jobs and positions in order to be able to work remotely. Things have really changed over the last 2 years. But there's another part to this. That was the employees. There's a Gartner survey, and what they found out in Search for Companies is that most corporations believe that this is the new normal. And to support that, 82% of them want to have part-time workers working remotely. Now, 47% want full-time remote workers. That's huge. That is a significant change. And one of the reasons that they're going in that direction, and the survey found out, was that productivity among people who work remotely is increased by 47%. 47%. Companies pay fortunes to get improvements much, much smaller than that. So it's not going to go backwards. And one of the things that companies do when they're putting their message together or their USP, there's something called a golden circle. So I want you to imagine a bullseye where on the very outside, we're going to name that what. The next area inside, we're going to name how. And in the very bullseye, we're going to call that why. Most organizations clearly know what their what is. What do? You know, they train people, they teach people, they provide, they make computers, they provide a particular product. They know what they do. If you go inside, dig a little deeper, there's the how do they do it? How do you train people? How do you really differentiate yourself from somebody else? And the how is pretty much the differentiation portion of it. And most companies leave it at that. If you look at commercials today, there's a lot of the what and the how. There are very few that talk about the bullseye, which is the why. Why do you make what you make? Why do you do what you do? And as far as Toastmasters is concerned, their mission statement says, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. That is a why, and that's very strong. And so basically a USP is a very ethical way to persuade people to do work with you. And it also speaks to their heart. When you focus on them and speak to your heart, then you can make a difference. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Gary. I especially loved hearing what the USP is, unique selling proposition. And the words that stood out to me the most were, hey, that's for me compared to doing nothing.
Right.
Now, Kathleen, can you put 2 minutes on the timer for us to have silence to give Dr. Nadine time to work, to take notes for her evaluation?
That's 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. Nadine, I saw you speaking. I wasn't sure, were you speaking to us or were you just speaking to yourself?
No, I was speaking to you. I was saying I can't see the timer, so could somebody tell me what's happening?
Okay. Time is up. Do you feel complete with your notes?
Yes, I will
Because,
I will, yes. So,
okay,
Nadine, if you would like, I could say a word like 1 minute if you can't see me.
right.
You know, I could speak instead of showing the cards. It's up to you.
Sure. So
Okay.
can you give me like another minute or so? Is that possible? How does it work? I'm sorry.
No, it's just that you, oops, this thing is trigger happy. If you cannot see my screen, my little thumbnail, you can move me around, or
You
I
know,
could.
Kathleen, is it, how about instead of talking about what's happening, for us to honor Nadine's request to give her another minute on the timer? So
No,
can you?
that's fine. No, that's fine. I will say what I have to say.
Okay, great. So we will move to the evaluation part of the meeting today. Dr. Nadine James is our first evaluator. She has 2 to 3 minutes to give her evaluation of Gary's speech. I turn it over to you.
Hi. So, right. So Gary, I just want to thank you so much for teaching us about USP. I did learn a lot from you, which is USP, unique selling proposition. And what I enjoyed about your speech was that you were very clear on what you had to say. It seemed to me, it seemed obvious that I think this is probably a field that you've worked in. Just what you said, you've worked in this field for 40 years, and you were very informational, and you were definitely aware of the audience. So I don't know about anybody else, but for me, you pulled me in because I wanted to hear more about what you had to say. And it was well researched. I wrote down some of the numbers, especially I was really intrigued about the part where employers, the new normal is, well, employers are saying 82% wants part-time workers and 47% wants full-time workers remote. So that interested me because I want to work remote. So, I like that you brought out, that 47%, it increased productivity by 47%. So all of this, it was very informational and relevant. And where I think you could be stretched a little is in terms of your gestures. I thought you had, I'm sorry, let me go back. Sorry. I thought you had very good vocal variety, eye contact. You were very comfortable and interesting. And the only thing I saw was just a little more gestures could have been implemented. But all in all, I really enjoyed your presentation. It was well done. Thank you so much. I don't know if I covered everything. I don't know if I covered everything, but yeah.
Wonderful. I appreciate your evaluation so much, Nadine. Now I invite Grace Quitera to the stage to give her evaluation of the evaluator. Grace, and she has up to 2 minutes on the clock for her evaluation of the evaluator.
Thank you. Hey, Nadine, I actually thought that your evaluation was good because you were specific. You used I statements referring to that it is something that it was your perspective. You didn't generalize. It was very specific to you. I like that you were specific in terms of acknowledging that he used statistics and specifically the statistic relating to the workers, workers being at home more. And I also liked, I agreed that he was definitely engaging in that he kept us listening. It was an interesting topic. and very informative, we learned something. He basically taught us something that we didn't know, or at least he taught me something that I didn't know, and it looks like he taught you too. Okay, and I agreed regarding the suggestion that he use more hand gestures. I think that you could have, one thing that I felt could have been added to that is that using gestures that were like directional, like when he said it went from 47% to, he could have indicated that it was going up, using his hands from 47 to 82%. I think that would have been more clear. And also mentioning one other opportunity I think that he would have had would be to use a prop showing the bull's eye, because
yes, I thought about that too. I thought about the prop too. Yes, I did.
What he was trying to describe, I thought was really interesting, but I think it would have been more impactful if there was actually something to show a diagram that actually showed that. So that would have been an extra plus. And it was definitely interesting. I think that your evaluation was right on point. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Grace. Now in our next segment, Dr. Michelle Pedicolis will be doing a short training on how to add credibility to your speech by doing research and including it in your speeches. Dr. Michelle Pedicolis is an international speaker, a distinguished Toastmaster, a select distinguished area director, and assistant director for Division D. As a founder of Second Chance Secrets, which is a professional training center, she enables coaches, healers, and change makers to unleash their true brilliance so they can attract premium clients with high-end programs to make the difference that they are here to make. I thank you, Dr. Michelle. I invite you to the stage.
Thank you, Maureen. It is my pleasure to talk to you today about research. And didn't we have some great speeches already that give you an idea of how you can use research? So research is the third project in level 1. And it is the last project. Once you finish that, you have finished level 1. And the purpose of the project is to connect you with the whole process of doing research. Maybe you've given an icebreaker or you've been talking about your business. Research can take you to a different level. Now, there are 2 ways in which you can do this speech. One is that you can research a whole different topic that you know nothing about, but are curious about, just like Kadisha talked about researching Smedley's background and how he got the idea for Toastmasters. However, a lot of you are entrepreneurs and you have a signature speech, or you have a bunch of speeches that you like to use. And I invite you to use this as an opportunity to boost the credibility and value of your speech. So how can you do that? Well, you have to ask yourself, where are the gaps? Where can I give more information that is going to be more persuasive? Just like Gary gave his information. And how did that create a more persuasive end result that said, yes, I want to buy here. And that's what you want to do. So I'm going to give you some examples. Well, first of all, where do you do your research? In the olden days, you had to go to a library. Can you imagine? Now you just do a few clicks of the mouse on the internet and you have this whole world of information. But you have to be careful about the source, because some of that stuff is just hearsay. It's just out there. There's all kinds of misinformation. So you really have to go and check out the citations, go all the way down when you're creating a speech, because goodness knows if you don't check that out and you find out it's not true, you're going to look terrible, right? That will really reduce your credibility. So other places, books, published books usually have to go through a fair amount of checking before they get published, although even that has changed a lot. Journals, encyclopedias, magazines. If they are blogs, be careful that it's a credible person that has a reputation. Also, specialists, people who have degrees, they may be somebody that you can rely on. I like books where it's a topic that I'm interested in, and behind it is all the citations that I could possibly want. So what kind of, now I'm rushing because I see the green, what kind of information do you want to put in? Well, you've heard the statistics, right? Statistics are very powerful. They can create a picture, or they can actually be used to like pop open your topic. For example, one of my favorite statistics is, according to a medical expenditure panel, 1 out of 6 Americans are on some kind of psychiatric drug, primarily tranquilizers or antidepressants. And you know what? That doesn't even account for all the people who are self-medicating through drinking, drugs, TV, food binging, and workaholism. And I've used that as an opening that kind of grabs people's attention. I would love to go through all my statistics and examples, but I want to kind of get to the point here. Sometimes you can use quotes, anecdotes, and I want to give this to Gary, because Gary, you can use this. You talked at the end about connecting to people's hearts. So when I was giving a speech on leadership, I mentioned that people make decisions based on their emotions and not on, and they use reason and logic to justify their choices. Antonio Damasio, a neuroscientist, showed that people, when the emotional center of their brain was damaged, could not make the simplest decision. You can use that. It would really, yeah, check it out. Antonio Damasio. Testimonials. You can use testimonials of your clients to increase your credibility. And sometimes you just give your own story, like Kadisha did. And the other thing is, sometimes if you are doing a presentation, you might want to talk about the other side. Like Gary was talking about the special proposition. You might want to compare what you have to offer with the other people that are out there and make that distinction. So I want to invite you to create more credibility, more urgency, and be more persuasive in your speech by doing your research. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle. I really appreciate all the different additional ways that you brought up about adding credibility to the speech. And I love how you also integrate teaching and excitement in the way you taught us about how to research. Thank you very much. We're now entering the table topics segment of the meeting. We have 15 minutes total because we need to be complete by 7:42. This is the table topics segment, is where we practice impromptu speaking. It's going to be run by our table topics master, Isaac, and please join me welcoming Isaac to the stage.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Over the weekend, I was listening to one of my favorite speakers, Les Brown, and he posed a question that really got me to thinking, because I know the first of the year, people make New Year's resolutions. But his question was, if you had 6 months to live, what would you do? What would you change? Or would you keep things the way they are? So that's not a question that you could just really answer, but you really need to think about it. So I'm going to throw that to Linda Patton first, and then I'm going to go down the line. So it's a question that you really, like I said, if you had 6 months to live, what would you do differently, or would you keep things the way they are now? Over to you, Linda.
Thank you, Isaac. That's a very insightful question, and one, you're right, it's difficult to answer. but I have an answer. If I had 6 months to live, I would pack up all my stuff here in Ohio. By the way, it's 3 hours ahead of you. And I'd move to Dornoch, Scotland. And I would spend my last 6 months enjoying the Scottish people, the Scottish food, the Scottish air, the Scottish music, all of that, and do what I could do to enhance that culture and that group of people. I really love the Scots. They have a wonderful work ethic, but they're also great fun. They have, I mean, they enjoy going to the pub and having a pint or two. They enjoy their games. They do the caber toss and all sorts of other things. And I just find them to be a remarkable people. Plus, you can get them talking about politics. And it's very interesting what they believe and how they see things. They are more in line with the Irish than they are with the English, which is very, very interesting. And I really appreciate them. And that's where I would spend my last 6 months.
Wait, thank you for that, Linda. So now I got a question that poses the question. Have you been to Ireland? Scotland.
I have been to both. I've been to England, Ireland, and Scotland. We went probably 4 or 5 times. I have a gigantic picture of Dornoch, Scotland, which is where I would move. And it has every building that was in Dornoch at the time that the painting was painted, so that I can actually look at it and go, there's the cathedral, there's the gas station, there's the dean's house, and this is where I want to live. So yes, and we did go to Ireland. I did a conference in Ireland at Trinity College, which was also an amazing place to spend time. And my husband got to play golf.
Great. Okay. Well, see, I like answers like that because you got to think about what you want to do. And Linda already knows what she would do with her 6 months. So now, Sally, I'm going to ask you, you got 6 months. What would you do differently, or would you keep things the same? And you are muted, Sally.
Thank you. That's a huge question. One, I think there's a great deal of grace in enjoying life as it is, but I would be very curious to take a trip to Vietnam and meet the 20 children whom I saved from the streets and see how they put their lives together, raised the children. And when they started, they were living in terror, literally on the streets, practically naked. Some of them fleeing from burning houses. So I'm always affected to want to know how their lives have turned out. Unfortunately, I don't speak Vietnamese, but I think I would really maybe enjoy the depth of touching others' lives. Thank you.
Great, excellent question, Sally. So now my next, well, actually, Sally, Vietnam, how did you come to be able to help those kids?
I employed 2 Vietnamese men. First man, I was a gardener, and he helped me, and he introduced me to 2 people who knew a lot about building, and I had acquired an old house that needed repairs. So they came every day, Saturday at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and left at 6 o'clock at night with everything tidy till the next week for a year and a half. And when our work was done and we were bidding each other goodbye over lunch, a Vietnamese lunch, and I said, I would like to play this experience forward. You have affected the stories that I have heard you in concentration camps without seeing your families, from 1 to 2 to 3 years, and another man who was a colonel 13 years and never saw anyone when he came out of prison. So these stories had affected me so much, I wanted to play it forward. And one of the men came up with his brother, who was a teacher in school, and he went out into the streets and scooped up these children who were sitting in the street dirt in terror because their families had died from poisoning, cancer, an automobile wreck. And they had no one, they did have aunts and uncles. So I asked him if he could attach our direction to join them with their aunts and uncles, to be their guide. Thank you.
Well, great. Now, I know this is breaking a little protocol when it comes to table topics, but it's something that, you know, it lets us know a little more about each person that's given the table topic. So now there's two left that I want to call on. Kathleen, because you're the timer, and I know you didn't get a chance to speak, so I will time you. And like I said, so if you had 6 months, what would you do differently, or would you keep things the way they are? So that is the question to you, Kathleen. And I will start timing you at your first word.
Isaac, that question pierced my heart because I live to live it up. I do my best. I live my fullest. I keep stretching. I keep developing. I keep helping others to do that. And yet, when you ask that, my hovering soul at the door looked back and said, but you have not shared intimacy. You haven't shared a love, an intimate sexual, down to the bone kind of relationship. And I know that I have that that wrinkle really ingrained from my infancy, not to want to be dependent, not to want to feel the pain of vulnerability and of rejection, not having had a father. And and so I know that, and I know I ought to get on the stick and live that life, and I ain't doing it. And it bothers me. So, ooh, girlfriend, you gotta get on the stick. You gotta do something about that. I love living it up, but there's one piece of the puzzle missing. So thank you very much, Isaac.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Kathleen, for that. So now we have 3 minutes left, and the Toastmaster hasn't really answered anything, although you've been carrying the meeting. And so, Maureen, same question, 6 months to live. What would you do different, or would you keep things the way they are?
I would do both. One thing I would do differently is I would stop putting off cleaning out my closets in my house, because I keep waiting till the time when you're going to move to the house where you see the ocean. Like it hasn't been moving through me. So I would be opening the closets and getting rid of stuff and preparing the future for my children that would make it and my husband, that would make it easy to live without me. The part of me that would be exactly the way I'm living, because I literally am living as though this in the now, this is the me I am here to be and become. And so the part of me that is transformation and process, and when I'm in a still place, I ask what wants to happen now. That wouldn't be any different than I'm living right now. I would be grateful to have 6 months because my granddaughter, my first granddaughter is due May 29th. So I would be assumably be alive when she's here. And I would make my husband aware of all of our financial accounts so that he wasn't left not knowing how to pay the bills when I'm gone. And I'm turning 60 in May, so I would plan a 60th birthday party for me. I wouldn't tell people I only have 6 months to live because I don't want them to treat me any differently than they do now. I want them to be authentic with where they are. And I'd be more inclined to stay in bed if I want to stay in bed, and I'd be less inclined to beat myself up.
Great.
Thank
you,
you,
Maureen.
Isaac.
You are very practical.
Yes.
Okay, actually, now I'm going to return the lectern back to you because we have no time left. I guess
we have a couple of minutes, but it would be short. So thank you. Thank you, Isaac. I really appreciate it. What a blessing this. Oh my God, I am just so full of all the richness we have had together today. I thank each one of you, speakers, evaluator, timer, table topic master, madam, a guru of everything, Michelle. You know, it's been such a blessing to be here. The Speechcraft I am leaving fulfilled, enriched, enlivened, more educated in a lot of things than where we started. And so I am so grateful to each one of you for the part you've played. And I hope you enjoyed the meeting as much as I did. And I turn the meeting back over to Michelle, who is the Speechcraft director. Thank you.
Maureen, you are amazing as a Toastmaster, and I expect to see you doing some more Toastmastering in the other clubs now, because you just knocked it out of the park. I am just so amazed by how well you did this. You just went like a duck to water. I want to thank all of you, and we're going to, I'm not going to hold you here. I want you to go back because we also have the main room and they're waiting for us. They probably don't have anything like we had tonight. Did we have like one awesome meeting? This was the best ever. Thank you, every one of you. You all contributed to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and let you go. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Sally, Howard, everybody. I guess I should say everybody, right? And we'll see you in the main room and you can share what you got out of the meeting. All right, bye.
Thank you.